Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our session today on the IRCA membership and how to add another scheme to your membership. If you're watching this video, you should already be an IRCA member with us for a certain scheme, and what you're looking to do is add on another scheme to your membership to be on the register for an alternative scheme. Just a few introductions. So my name is Robert Fulton. I'm the new member manager, and we're joined today by one of my advisors, Fiona, who deals with a lot of the application process. So you're in good hands, and we're just going to run through the application process with you, just so you're aware of how the application process is done to add on another scheme with IRCA. So to start off with, Fiona, do you want to just run through why people would like to add on another scheme for their IRCA membership?
Yep, so as you're already an IRCA member with us, you hopefully will be familiar with the IRCA register. So that is our online tool that you can use to search for auditors, and you can filter it by things like scheme to show like who you can get that is certified in that scheme. So IRCA members can join us at any of our schemes. It should be related to the one you took your IRCA approved training course in. That should be the scheme that you're applying for. However, we know that a lot of people take more than one IRCA course in more than one IRCA scheme. For example, a lot of people have QMS, EMS and OHS certificates. So if you wanted to be certified in not just QMS but also EMS and OHSMS, you would be able to go online to your members area and start a new application for that scheme.
Great, thanks, Fiona. So yes, if you're looking to gain the IRCA card and potentially the IRCA logo, depending on what grade that you're looking to apply for, as well as get on the register for another scheme, then this is something that we can run through on how to do that today. I think the main thing to note is when it comes to applying, there is an additional membership fee due for each scheme that you add on. So, for instance, if you add on one scheme, you will be paying an additional 1 times membership. 2 schemes would be 2 times additional membership. So, if you've got 3 in total, that would be 3 membership fees that you would pay. So, to move on to our criteria, Fiona, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So we've just broken down our criteria by 3 grades here, or 3 subsections for grades. You've got the associate auditor grade, you've got the internal auditor and lead auditor grade, and lastly, you've got the principal auditor grade, which you can see on the left-hand side of this table. Now, the main criteria for those that would like to add on an additional scheme is that you must have undertaken the latest training course, and this would be an IRCA approved training course in the scheme that you're looking to add. So you may have already got 9001 under your belt and you're looking to add on 45001, for instance. We know that you've done the 9001 training, but you would need to do the 45001 training in order to be an IRCA member. And again, it must be IRCA approved and to the latest standard. Once you've got the training, then the other grades are down to how many audits that you've undertaken. So if you would like to join at the internal auditor and lead auditor grade, you must have successfully completed a certain amount of audits after completing your course date, and we'll go over them in the next slide. Or you could be looking at principal auditor, and this is for anyone who's worked for a certification body for more than 3 years plus. So you've got the no audit category, the I've done audit category, and then the principal auditor certification body category. Anything to add on grades, Fiona?
Just to add for principal auditors, those are the requirements if you are joining as a new member for the scheme. Some of you might be principal auditors because you've been IRCA members, IRCA lead auditors for more than 5 years. But this is if you were applying to a new scheme directly as a principal auditor, you would need to have worked for a certification body for more than 3 years.
Great, thanks, Fiona. So I'm just going to move on to our audit requirements slide, which we will go over in a bit more detail once we hit the audit log. But Fiona, do you want to just give a quick rundown of what we need for each of the grades?
Yeah, so as Rob mentioned, for the associate auditor grade, we don't have any audit requirements on that grade. For internal auditor, you must have conducted at least 5 audits of at least 3 hours in duration. All of the audits must be against the standard of the scheme that you are applying for. So if you're already a member for ISO 9001 and you're applying for 45001, it would need to be 45001 audits. We wouldn't be able to accept your ISO 9001 audits against this application. So for auditor, it's 4 full management system audits of at least 20 days with 15 days on site. For lead auditor, it's the requirements for auditor, so the 4 full management system audits plus 3 full management system audits as the leader of a team of at least you and 1 other person, of at least 15 days with 10 days on site. So for lead auditor, the total requirements are 7 full management system audits of at least 35 days with 25 days on site. And for 3 of those, you must meet the lead auditor requirement, which is that you led a team of at least you and 1 other person. And then for the principal auditor grade, we don't have any formal auditing requirements on this grade, but you should be filling in the audit log to demonstrate your experience as a auditor for a certification body.
Great, thanks, Fiona. So you may have already gone through the application process before when applying for another grade. As you can see, our criteria is the same as probably when you did apply for an alternative scheme. The main thing to note is that you just need to meet the requirements on the new scheme that you're applying for. We're going to move over to the application form now, which shouldn't take too long for us to do. For those of you who have applied pre-2020, so before 2019, you may have undertaken one of our applications, which was done on paper. We have now moved to an online system, which you'll be able to find in the members area when you've logged in. So once you've logged into your account, it's fairly easy. You just need to go to the members area, the My Membership tab, and then apply for a new membership. And this will show you the start of the application process. You've got an Apply for IRCA membership button, which if you click here will take you to the choice of grades that you would like to apply for. And there's some useful links at the top in terms of, again, our criteria, our fees, and everything that you may want to know, as well as a Contact Us button, which gives our details on how you can contact us. For this application, we're going to be going over the lead auditor application. However, each application is identical to this application process, apart from the application audits, which are required for the associate auditor grade, but we'll tell you what those details are. Once you've clicked your grades, the first page is an introduction to the membership. So a little bit about completing your application, submitting your application, again, another link on fees, and there's a useful webinar here on how to fill in the application as well, which if you're stuck, we recommend clicking on, because that will show you in a bit more detail on how to complete these forms. If you click Start Your Application, this will allow you to add on your scheme. So, for instance, on this one, we're going to be adding 45,001, and we just need to put in the current version. So we've done the 2018 course. And if you wish to add multiple schemes, so you want to add a couple more schemes to the register, you just need to click this Add New Another Scheme button, and that will allow you to add on another one, and so forth. So you can actually add on quite a few additional schemes. I think 5 is the maximum.
4 is the maximum.
4 is the one application, maximum for one application. Once you've clicked your scheme that you would like to add on to the register, the first page is the training and qualifications page. So as mentioned earlier, you would need to do this in the scheme that you're applying for. So for instance, I've done a 9001 course before, but I'm applying for 45,001, so I would need to add my 45,001 application to the process. In order to do that, you just need to click the Add New Training button. and fill in the required details. So when did you do the course title, number of hours, the training organisation name, and the course outcome. Now, you must have passed the course in order to apply for a new IRCA scheme. So just bear in mind, if you haven't completed the exam, we wouldn't accept that for IRCA membership. You must have passed the exam in order to do this. We also accept transition courses, as well as
conversion
course. That's the one I was
conversion courses and migration courses. The migration period for 45,001 has now passed, but if you had taken previously the BS 18,001 course and then subsequently taken the migration training to 45,001, you would need to provide both those certificates, but we would be able to accept the migration training.
Thanks, Fiona. Just make sure that you do upload your training course to the application process, and when you're done, click Save and Continue, and that will add on a new line. Because you may have applied on this system before, you will see all of your old details that you've added on when it comes to your previous application. Once you've done that, if you click Mark Section Complete, the next step is the work experience. Again, you may have already completed our work experience section before when applying. Just make sure that it is up to date. So, for instance, if you're currently doing a new job, just make sure you add your work experience and tell us what that might be, or just edit the dates if, for instance, it isn't your current role. So for this one, this is still my current role. The end date is still blank because it is my current role. I haven't finished it. So I'm going to move on to Mark Section Complete. Anything to add on work experience, Fiona?
No, I think that's right. Just make sure that it's up to date. But if you've done an online application form previously, all that information will be carried over onto the new application.
Great, thanks, Fiona. The next section of the application form is the CPD section, so the Continual Professional Development section. So for this application, what we're looking for from you is 3 CPD objectives. Now, again, you may already have 3 CPD objectives already in your application process. So this is something that you may already see and have a few pop up. The main thing to note is for any new applications, we just want to make sure that you have 3 ongoing objectives. So if you have any that are in the past, please show us or add on any future objectives that you may be interested in undertaking within your career. So what are your career goals over the next year, for instance, and just add on any further CPD objectives that may be of interest to you. Again, Fiona, anything else to add for CPD section?
No, just to make sure that we do require for new applications, even if you're an existing member, that you have 3 objectives ongoing. So the target completion date must be in the future. So it's probably a good time to start thinking about either new CPD objectives you wish to add, or if the CPD objectives you have already got need expanding on, you know, that you haven't completed them yet, you've got some more activities to do, you can change the dates and put these in the future and add your your additional planned activities. If the CPD objective itself is still relevant, but you've got more to do, for that, you can look at that as a way of amending your CPD rather than adding new ones.
Yeah, correct. I think a good thing to think about this is a good reflection time for you to look at your CPD that you've put in before and see what you've done. It could be, for instance, that I haven't done anything to improve or develop my leadership skills. So I'm going to change this target date to sometime in the future. I know in this example, it is already in the future. But, you know, I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to give myself to the end of the year. I'm going to edit that, change it to the end of the year, and I'm going to add on some more activities that I'm planning on doing. So this is a good reflection time on your CPD to see what you've actually done over the last year, 2 years or so forth, and what you can do to achieve the goals that you were looking to do, or you know, what are your goals now that you're looking to achieve for the future, and amend that CPD as you go. So it's a very good reflection time to do that. Again, once you're done, if you hit mark section complete, and then we move on to the audit log. Now, most of you would have already come across the audit log at one time of your application, unless you've applied for the associate auditor grade. So what we'll do is we'll give a quick rundown of exactly what we're requiring from you for the new scheme in order to make a successful application. Fiona, I'm going to hand over to you on this one. So let me know if you would like me to click any buttons.
Yeah, so as we mentioned previously with the training, for this application, your audits must be against the standard of the scheme that you're applying for. So in this, our 45,001 application, we would need to add our 45,001 audits. So Rob, if you can click add an entry. There's guidance here on completing the audit log, the sorts of audits we accept, anything that you might not understand is all there for you. If you have any questions about the sort of audits that we accept. We also do regular webinars on filling in this section. So if you get stuck anywhere, you can email us or join one of those webinars, and we will be able to talk you through it. So for this, you would be clicking your audit standard as ISO 45,001. You would be adding the start date and the end date, the duration, the on-site days. If you applied, if you're an IRCA member from before 2019, just to note that we do accept remote audits. If you didn't have remote audits before but you do now, we just ask that you list the on-site days as the time you spent actually conducting the audits, whether or not you were you physically visited the site or you did the audit via email or teleconferencing, those sorts of things. We ask for some basic information about the audit context, so the company name, the industry sector, the size of the organisation, the scope of the audit, anything else that that might be relevant. Sorry, I missed a box, and it is number of audit team members. So if you are, especially if you're applying for lead auditor, this box is very important because it must have been more than 2. So you should count yourself in the number. So if you were included and the number was 2 because it was you and one other person, that's the minimum number for lead auditor audits. We then ask for the type of audit. So, sorry, first party, second party, third party consultancy, your role, so lead auditor, trainee auditor, sole auditor, that sort of thing. And then we ask for the audit referee. So if you did an old paper audit log, this is the person that had to sign off, but for now, it's anybody that can confirm that you did that specific audit. So it could be your line manager, it could be the person you audited, it could be another member of your audit team, anyone that could confirm that you conducted that specific audit. So you must meet the requirements in that standard. If you're applying with audits that were conducted against more than one standard, for example, you did audits against 9001 and 45,001, you can tick both of those boxes in the audit entry, but note that the number of days is divided by the number of standards. So if you did a 2-day audit against both 9001 and 45,001, that would be 1 day each. So make sure that you're working out that calculation before you submit, because otherwise you won't have the right number of audits. We will try and get in contact with you if we need you to provide more audits, and or if we think that it's not going to meet the requirements, we will try and tell you before your application goes to the assessor. But if you have any questions on the audit requirements, you can contact us and we can talk you through it.
Right, yeah, and our contact details are just at the bottom of all the application pages. So you can see our email is applications@quality.org, and we've got our phone number there. I can see that we've had a few people join us, so just let you know if you have missed anything, you do get a recording of this session sent out to you, I believe, tomorrow. So just bear in mind you can rewatch it. And if you have any questions, please get them over to us. We're happy to answer any questions for you. There's a Q&A button. If you click that, you can type the question over to us and then we can answer that for you as we go. Just in terms of the audit log, just in case anyone has logged in and they can see their current audit log, you don't actually need to delete any of the audits that you've already put in. You just need to add in your new audits that you do. Again, this is a good reflection for the assessor. They will see that you're a current member and see that you've got current audits already done to a different standard. In terms of the application process, you do need to meet the criteria, but if they see that you've done other audits to other standards and you're already an IRCA member, they will bear that in mind during their application process as well. So that's the audit log filled in, and the next section will be the scheme awareness section. Fiona, we've just got a question through. They're just asking, can they join as an associate auditor and then regrade once they've done their audits because they've only just completed their course?
Yes, absolutely. You can join us as an associate auditor. You just need to fill in the training, work experience and CPD sections for that application, but you can regrade at any time during your membership. Once we finish going through this application, we can show you all the bits of the members area that can help you if you're thinking about joining as another scheme or regrading.
Great, thanks, Fiona. So yes, so that is the application process for the audit log. And if you are joining as an associate auditor, please bear in mind that you won't need to fill out the audit log or the sector knowledge section. That is actually that application complete. So the last section is the sector knowledge section. Again, you may have already filled in one of these sections before for an alternative scheme, especially if you've applied recently. The sector knowledge section is the same as what our paper form used to be as well. However, we've just expanded upon the criteria a little bit more just to make sure that we pinpoint exactly what we need from you when it comes to filling out this section. We have 4 main categories that we're looking for you to fill in, and this is so we can sort of get an understanding of how you audit, where you audit, and anything in terms of your industry section or country that you're auditing to give the assessor a bit of a broader mind of how you work. So the first question that you need to fill in is which industry or industries that you're auditing. So if you could name those industries and demonstrate that you understand how and why the management system is used for each of these industries that you'll be auditing. The next section is how do you conduct your audits? So again, give an outline of how you would conduct an audit in this industry. Do you adapt the tools and techniques that you use, or do you focus on a particular aspect of the standard, and if so, why? We want to know who the governing bodies and regulators are. You know, we are an international register. You know, we have people from different countries join us, again, in different areas, different industries, and there's different rules that you would abide to. So if you just put them down here, you know, what are the list of laws and regulations specific to your country or industry? And then the last thing is, are there any industry specific components of the management system? So does the industry auditing have additional requirements? You would need to fill this in for the scheme that you're applying for. So please just note, if you filled it out for an alternative scheme before, you do need to add in a new scheme awareness for the new scheme that you're applying for. So for this one, in this case, 45,001, you would need to fill in. Anything else to note, Fiona, on sector awareness?
Just that, to make sure that you change it for the scheme that you're currently applying for. So if you're talking about OHSMS, for example, that you're focusing on what you do specifically in those audits, not just in general for all your audits, but in those specific, when you're looking at health and safety, how do you look at it? What do you do specifically with regards to that scheme?
Great, thanks, Fiona. So once you've done that, you'll get to the referee section. Just make sure your referee is up to date. And if so, click mark section complete, follow the form on to the end, including reading our declaration, and that will take you to the cart page. There are still 2 fees to pay, a one-off application fee charge and again a membership fee. Just bear in mind that we do have promotions on the application fee for current members. So if you are a current member, if you email us, we can give you a code for 50% off the application fee. So you would only need to pay half the price to join a new scheme on the application fee, that is. We don't have any discounts on the membership fees, and we do not run discounts on the membership fees. I think that's everything. I think Fiona just wanted to show you how you can regrade later on down the line. So if you go members area, my membership, and then IRCA regrade, you will see that you can regrade via this link. It will tell you your IRCA regrade options, and then if you click the regrade here tab, that will take you to the regrade form. So for instance, if you're an associate auditor and you'd like to regrade to auditor, it will give you that option. If you click regrade here, that will allow you to fill in the application form. And again, it's exactly identical to what we've just gone over in today's session. Just a quick reminder, if you do have any questions, please get them over to us. And I'm about to share our contact details as well. Just before I do that, Fiona, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Just to say that if you're not keeping your records up to date in your members area with things like your training and your audit log, you can do that as an existing member. Things like your CPD and your training and your audit log, you can keep all of those things up to date as an existing member in the My Records section. And then when you come to do the application, it will pull all that information across, so you won't need to be filling it out again.
Great, thanks, Fiona. And that's a very good actually way of actually filling in one of our applications as you go, because you don't need to start a form. You can actually click on the subsections and keep them updated. So I'm just going to give it about 30 seconds or so for any questions. For anyone that is watching this as a recording, our contact details are here again. So we've got our email address, which is applications@quality.org. You can email us and we normally respond within 24 hours. So if you've got a question, please send it over to us and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So it's 1 business day. And our phone number here as well. If you'd like to talk through anything, we're happy to have a chat. Our number is +44 for the UK and 0207 245 8600. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 AM to 5 PM, and on a Friday, it's 9 AM to 4 PM. And that is UK time. If you're watching this webinar now and you have any questions later on down the line, you can always email us and then we can answer any questions. So you might be filling in the application and you're getting stuck. Feel free to email us. We're happy to answer any questions that you've